Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry for the late start here. Sorry for the propaganda that had a little difficulties coming in. Well, that wouldn't be me, would it? But anyway, it's a cold, rainy day, the week after an Eagles Super Bowl. And there's a lot going on. And I don't know how to, and I explained this through the course of the week, that this Super Bowl has actually made me angry. And now let me clear this up. I don't want people thinking that I'm mad with the Birds winning a Super Bowl. I am not mad at all. Because if you notice, there's a new jersey on the wall. My wall of fame. My favorite players go right up here. As you guys seen, I have a Trey Turner jersey. Trey Turner, to me, with a story like no other. Not last summer, but the summer before. When he looked like he was down on his luck, he's battled back. And the crowd, instead of giving him the boo birds, this city lifted him up and got him off the ground. I've seen tremendous athletes come through this city. I've seen the greats of the Trey Turners, right? Eric Lindros, as you guys will see behind me. I had to move him over. And Eric Lindros is my favorite childhood hero. Got to actually meet him with my son, Angelo. Great guy. Got to meet him and LeClaire. The numbers he was putting up when I was a young guy got me really, really invested in the Philadelphia Flyers. I've witnessed some great Iverson, great story. But however, I want to get back to the Eagles. Because there's been many people who only gotten to witness one Super Bowl. Only gotten to witness one Super Bowl. I have witnessed now two. For my kids, they've gotten to witness two. For my oldest son, Angelo, he's gotten to witness two Super Bowls. There's been people who've come and gone in their lives who never got to see a Super Bowl. So you really have to appreciate, we've gotten out two. Two. And I couldn't be more happy what we've gotten. Oh, my man Double G checked in the show, goes, "Good morning, Pat. Bring the plows. We're getting buried here in Toronto." Yeah, I saw some pictures. Here I'm complaining about a little 9.5 inches of snow. My man Gary's got a lot of snow. And by the way, I will be on with Gary later on tonight talking about this Wings team that's collapsed. And that's where I'm going to get going, right? This is why I'm aggravated. Because I'm not mad with the Eagles winning a Super Bowl. I'm mad. In those 7 years, the Eagles been in 2 out of 3, won 2 out of 3 Super Bowls. Really should have won 3. Like, you look around the city, what has the rest of the city done? What has the rest of the city has done? I'll start out with my beloved Philadelphia Flyers. In those 7 years, they haven't been in the playoffs in the 5 years of those 7. They've changed general manager. They've changed head coach. Still have yet to fix this goalie position. What's the direction of this hockey team? And I'm going to give Danny Briere a short leash to get things right. But you just moved on from 2 guys who look like they've been playing somewhat decent. I get it. You want to relieve salary crap. But how many times am I going to have to hear about rebuild with this Philadelphia Flyers team? Travis Konechny, his whole tenure here has been nothing but a rebuild. And he's one of the better players in the NHL. If Travis Konechny wants to win a Stanley Cup, he's going to have to leave Philly. I know Flyer fans don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. Okay, we got Mitchkov. Okay, now what? Like, one hand doesn't wash the other here. So Howie Roseman is the best general manager I've ever seen in Philadelphia. The guy behind me, Jalen Hurts, the best quarterback to me in Eagles franchise. And I know people are going to give me Donovan's numbers. Donovan never won the big one. Donovan never won the big one. The guy behind me outdueled the best quarterback in the league, who on paper has better weapons, who has a Hall of Famer tight end. And I saw Patrick Mahomes last Sunday within one quarter of a game look flustered because he never saw an Eagles defense that was built like that before. That stripped him of everything, of his dignity. He had no answers. Steve Spags had no answers for this offense. Their only game plan was to shut down Saquon. Okay, I guess you guys didn't learn your lesson from the Pittsburgh Steelers game. Jalen could beat you multiple ways, and you saw what he did. He passed the rock around. Devontae Smith got involved, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. He spread the ball around, crushing the one-on-one battles, find guys over the middle. He is your MVP Super Bowl player. And that jersey behind me, I'll never wear that jersey again. Because to me, that's an honor. And that young man, what did he say at the parade? He got a picture of when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl and him walking out in their confetti. So he's never going to change that because he's always going to want to stay hungry. You don't get that mindset. I never saw anything like that before. And again, I'm going to go back to the Flyers. What have they done in the last 7 years? I witnessed now 2 Super Bowls, 2 out of 3 appearances from Howie Roseman. He changed this whole team. He got rid of Carson when everybody thought he was nuts for doing that, saying that we'll never see a Super Bowl. I remember all the conversations. I was one of those guys. I was a Carson believer. And there's Carson sitting on the bench watching his former team, watching the green and white confetti come down. And remembering what that time was like. It was rubbed right in his face. And I love Carson. I think he's a great human being, all that stuff. But it must have been a tough pill to swallow. But again, what made me angry is that I've gotten to witness, I'm witnessing the greatest general manager in Howie Roseman. And he needs rose petals delivered at his feet. I know my man Matty B from It's a Rep Sports takes shots at him all the time. But he definitely deserves his rose petals. Because like I just mentioned, you have a Flyers team that has now pulled themselves out of the race of a playoff spot. It's pretty much thrown in the tail in the season. They are sitting at 55 points. They are nothing. They've been nothing more than mediocrity for the past several years now. They haven't seen a Stanley Cup run for the past 15 years. And that was luck, to be honest. You haven't been in the playoffs in 5 years, Flyers. It's embarrassing. Like, can any of these franchises step up for a change? Let's go into the 76ers. Right? The 76ers. Okay, they get Joel Embiid. They make a couple nice second-round appearances in the playoffs, but that's as far as their career goes. And they've down-spiraled. And now we're at the point every year around this time to shut down Joel Embiid. Trade him. All those conversations get in place. And matter of fact, this is how now they've dialed up a roster. Daryl Morey has dialed up a roster of all veteran guys. I don't know what was he expecting to do with that. To sell jerseys because you brought in Paul George? Sorry, Holmes. I would have got a Paul George jersey 10 years ago. He's not the same player. The chemistry between Paul George, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey has been nothing more than a cup of coffee. They're sitting now the 11th seed with 20 wins, 34 losses. On a 5-game losing streak, to mind you. This team was better about a month ago, just with Maxey on the floor, than having those guys available to you. I can't see this team winning a series in the playoffs. They might win a knockout game in the playoffs. Yippee. That's not going to bring you a parade. Can this team beat Cleveland in the series? No. The Knicks? No. The Pacers? No. You could possibly beat the Pistons, but you're not going to face them in the first round. And mind you, the team of all teams, the Boston Celtics. And let me give you a little heads up about the Boston Celtics in the last 7 years. Between the difference between the Sixers and the Boston Celtics. For not taking Joel Embiid, by the way. I have it dialed up here. Boston Celtics has been the six Eastern Conference games. Has made 2 NBA Finals and won 1. That's the Boston Celtics for you. That's a franchise that knows how to build. And I don't know why they keep on. And the 76ers are now, it's like, darn if they do have Joel Embiid on the floor, because Joel Embiid on the floor is pretty valuable. But when you only can get him for a cup of coffee. I've only seen him in a handful of games this year. And a handful. He told you already he can't play back-to-back games. Last year at this point, we told him, oh, shut down, let's restart. Shut down, restart. How many times are we going to go to that wheel? On to your Philadelphia Phillies, which has been decent. I'm not going to lie. In the last 7 years. Since the Eagles won the Super Bowl, from the last time till now, I'll tell you where the Phillies have done. A 22 World Series run, which has been decent. An NL championship. Okay. And last year getting thumped. So this team's been trending backwards. And yet they're going to be running with the same roster. So I don't know how much. optimistic I could be for this Phillies team. You still have Taijuan Walker on this team who delivers nothing. I don't get it. I don't like it. This team is it's the same. It's the same old, same old. You got the same players. Another year older. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're, but with the Mets picking up Soto and the Mets playing as well as they did last year, that team's on the rise. And we had no answer for the Mets, by the way. None. I don't know how this Phillies team is going to be any different than they were last year. Again, I was just on, if you saw me in the 8 o'clock hour, I was just talking about the Philadelphia Union. They're going to have the same team as they did last year. They're going to, the only difference is the head coaching position. And by the way, that front office for getting rid of Jim Curtin, they better hope this was the right move. Because if it ain't, and this guy comes out to say 0-5, eyeballs are going to be rolling towards that front office. Because Bradley Cornwell has big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill Jim Curtin. The Philadelphia Union in the last 7 years has made a MLS run. It's tread backwards. Now they have just mentioned they have now moved on for their head coach. Okay, I'm all for change. I'm all for change to make a team better, but I hope this was the right move. Because I said it plenty of times before, the Philadelphia Union don't act like they don't have money to spend. They got $1 million practice facilities. I mean, if you ever been down to watch a Union game and looked at those beautiful fields, and they are beyond beautiful. There's a lot of money invested. But can we invest money in some talent and stop going to homegrown? You still have to buy talent. And I don't know. And let me go to the other winter team. And I don't want to leave the Wings out of it, because I gave them a lot of praise about a month ago. Teams on paper they should be putting away, they've looked like they've hit a brick wall. They look like they've hit a brick wall. The Philadelphia Wings, I don't know what's going on. They can't finish. They've run out of steam. I don't know what's going on. They look like the team I saw last year. And these last handful of games, the Philadelphia Wings are now 5-5. I gave Ian Rubel plenty of love, but now he's got to come with the thorns. There's, in Philadelphia sports, we can throw you rose petals from our rose flowers, but don't forget those roses in Philadelphia sports, they come with thorns. So when you screw up, you get stabbed with those thorns. So if you guys are out there checking in the show, just be grateful for Howie Roseman and what he's put together here. He's put together a coach that nobody wanted. By week 4, everybody was cashed out on Nick Sirianni and wanted him on the hot seat and all this other stuff. He's a winning coach. He's been in multiple playoffs. He's been in multiple Super Bowls. He's changed constantly coordinators, offensively and defensively. He's gotten head coach. He's gotten his coordinators now. This is second round coordinators that Howard Roseman and Nick Sirianni's gotten head coaching jobs. Frank Reich, now Kelly Moore is going to be on their own. Vic Fangio, a great defensive mind. And what had me worried some was because Andy Reid has owned him as a Kansas City Chiefs head coach. But guess what? Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, they never saw a defense like this before. Never have they saw a defense like this before. Where they don't have to sack you. And they made things so frustrating for Patrick Mahomes. Here he looked like in the first quarter he had the game lost. There was no bounce back from this. There wasn't going to be no Tom Brady magical run. To be honest, the Eagles should have their third Super Bowl. Whether you want to blame the refs, the cleats, or the ground from the last one in 22, that's fine. You can do that. But I'm telling you, and Jalen, to me, like I said, is the greatest Eagles quarterback of all time. The greatest. I have yet to see anyone like him before. QB1. And I will always go back to my broadcast partner, Michael Lara. Because everybody thought in year one, as a rookie, that this guy, everybody was cashed out. Everybody was cashed out on Jalen Hurts. But Mike Lara. Mike said, just give him time to work on his mechanics. He could read a defense. His pocket passing is second to none now. He reads at everything that the defense gives him. He's done a phenomenal job. And it's crazy because the Stars didn't play one lick of preseason football. And by week 4, we were cashed out. It's crazy. Yeah, it showed you they had a little bit of rust. And they got a butt whooping from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And since then, they've been a wrecking machine. They've wrecked everybody who stood in their path. So where are you guys? And by the way, here goes some numbers if you didn't catch it. I'm pretty sure that you did by now. Jalen Hurts, 17 completions, 221 yards, two TDs, and one pick. And listen, that pick was a gamble. He took a gamble. It didn't pay off. He knows it. He knows he probably shouldn't have thrown that ball. Patrick Mahomes sacked 6 times. Sacked 6 times. He got his brain rattled. What's happened? I can't. It's amazing. Seeing 2 parades now. 2. Like I said, I know a lifetime of Eagle fans have yet to see one. People have gone into my life. My grandfather never saw a Super Bowl. I have uncles and stuff who's never seen a Super Bowl. That's come and gone in this world. Diehard Eagles fans. Been begging to see one. And now here I am seeing 2. I would never thought the day I would see 2 Super Bowls come through Philly. I remember the early 90s where I had to watch the Cowboys and Niners win multiple Super Bowls. And I always said to myself, I want to be like that. What's that like? I thought I was like the biggest loser walking around. It's kind of like the same if you ain't first or last. I mean, I always want to be with I've seen when Andy Reid was here, a lot of great football, a lot of great playoff football. I wasn't ever expecting to win the big one here. And you know, if you were at the parade, I want to know what it was like for you. What was it like for you at the parade if you went down there? If it was a first time experience for you? People look like they enjoyed themselves. Oh, my man Dave Yarl checking in the show. What's up, Dave? Good morning, sir. He says, I would take a healthy Randall over Hurts any day of the week. Are you kidding me? Dave, are you nuts? Are you nuts, Dave? Come on, Dave. Are you kidding me? No. I'm sorry. Randall's at 3 for me. Randall's at 3. Jalen, Donovan, Randall. No. Come on, Dave. You as a Cowboys fan should know. Randall couldn't hang with Troy during his prime, or Steve Young, or Joe Montana. He wasn't in their. Jalen. Right now might not have the numbers. But come on, Super Bowls are everything. He's got more than a lot of quarterbacks in this league. He's got more than Lamar, right? Josh, you know what I mean? Come on, Dave. He's got a lot more Super Bowls than a lot of quarterbacks. He's been to more Super Bowls than a lot of quarterbacks. Dave replies, Raylan didn't have the O-line that hurts. And listen, you're right. You're right, Dave. You're right on the money. That's one thing. And listen, that's got to be credit to Howie for building that O-line. But you can't give me that. You can't give me that Reynolds ahead of him. No way. No way. He's head and shoulders better. Better. He's won a Super Bowl. That puts you in front of the line. And the 2017 run was a miracle for Nick Foles. Will never happen again. Will never happen again. Josh, you know what I mean? So I'll wait. You give me a quarterback right now. What quarterback in the AFC can outduel Patrick Mahomes? They're like Jalen can. He's better than Josh Daniels, too. Reynolds had a better arm than Hurts. Yeah, I'll give you that. But this to me is I don't know if too many quarterbacks can hang with Hurts anymore. There's not too many. Josh Daniels, Lamar, they can't hang with Patrick Mahomes. Jalen can. Jalen actually had him on the ropes in the last Super Bowl go around. I think the inexperience. I think that the I don't want to use the ground excuse, but because I mean both sides were falling, but Jalen kind of had him on the ropes as well. There's not too many people that have Josh Allen. I'm sorry, I said Josh Allen. I'm sorry. You're right. Josh Allen. There's not too many people who give Patrick Mahomes, who owns real estate in Patrick Mahomes' head. But Jalen Hurts does. I believe Josh Allen would have gave the better game than what Mahomes did. Well, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Josh Allen wasn't there. Josh Allen had his opportunity. And couldn't get the job done. Lamar Jackson had his opportunity. Couldn't get the job done. On the biggest stage of them all, Jalen Hurts doesn't get rattled, stays poised. Look at him. And you look at his emotions. He's fearless. He's boring, if you want to say. He doesn't smile much. You saw what he did. Like you just said, Dave, he had time in the pocket to survey and pick apart that Kansas City Chiefs defense. To me, the Eagles getting through the Rams was their toughest challenge. Was their toughest challenge. And when I look around the league, Dave, too, right? You look around the league, you see that, if you haven't seen yet, I have guys from Pittsburgh who do Steelers post-game shows here. Us as they'll tell you they're cashed out on Mike Tomlin. They're cashed out. Cowboys. I mean, you guys got I know too many people are not happy with their new coaching decisions and all that stuff. How much leash do you give Dak Prescott? All that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of questions everywhere. But it showed you within time, Howie Roseman moved on from Carson Wentz, moved on from Doug Peterson, moved on from the guys he made statues for, moved on pretty much that whole roster, other than a couple O-line and D-line, and changed everything. And yeah, we're right back to where we are in the Super Bowl run. A contender. Now, like I said, I'm not taking shots at the Cowboys or anything like that, but we don't have that complaints. I'm more of taking shots at the rest of the city. Because after the Eagles, we don't have anything. Don't have much. That's a fair statement. I'll take that, Dave. Jalen Stevens won that game, not Hurts. I'll give you that. The Eagles' defense had a huge impact on that game. I'm not going to say that. You're right. But you can't tell me that Jalen didn't do his job on the other side of the ball either. And like I said, that's a fair statement. Look, the Eagles didn't have to blitz. And they were the edges were getting to Patrick Mahomes. I'll give you that. But for Steve Spags to constantly keep on blitzing and Jalen just getting the reads that he wants and beating everyone down the field. You saw that nice, beautiful bomb. That dying pass that he made right to Devontae Smith. It's absolutely amazing. The Eagles defense should get the MVP, not Hurts, if you think about it. No, listen, like I said, I'm not taking anything you say wrong. Dave, I mean, you're absolutely right. The Eagles defense deserves a lot of credit. And you're probably right. They are truly they were the backbone of that game. Rattled, rattled Patrick Mahomes. And you're right. Patrick Mahomes seen a lot of defenses. He saw the Ravens defense is good. He saw the Buffalo Bills. It's always supposed to be putting the fear in the people. Okay, great. But he never saw a defense like that Eagles defense before. Never. And he got rattled. And he saw in his face, he had no answers. He had no answers. Steve Spags had no answers. Andy Reid didn't have no answers. Charles Kelsey didn't have no answers. Taylor Swift didn't have no answers besides getting booed. And look, it was a great game on both sides of the ball. That's the thing about the Eagles. They had a tremendous game on both sides. And look, Saquon Barkley was not an X factor at all. Was not an X factor at all. So you can't tell me Jalen didn't do his job. I said this, Dave. I said he got sacked 6 times for 2 picks, and one was a pick 6. Absolutely. You're right. The defense did their job. They made things uncomfortable. Totally uncomfortable for Patrick Mahomes. This is the 3-peat thing. And to me, I don't even, it became like you saw they were showing clips of Nick Sirianni on the side, right? He just looked like he wanted, like he was determined, like he wanted more, like he had the eye of the tiger in him. Like really, the really the Chiefs had really nothing to play for other than the 3-peat. Really nothing else to play for. They've been there, they've done it, they sung about it. I don't know if the Eagles are our next dynasty franchise team, but listen, being 2 out of 3 Super Bowls now, I feel happy about it. How he's always shaking things up. Look, it's crazy. It's what are they going to do in free agency comes around? What are they going to do in the draft? What goes through the mind of Howie Roseman? Look at last year. Brian Johnson, the offense coordinator, didn't pan out well. Both coordinators, he yanked them right out. To dominate in the Super Bowl like they did is unreal. Here's what kills me. The Rams were 15 yards away from beating the Birds by 1 point. Think about it. Yeah, listen, that's why I said the Rams in this playoff run gave them their toughest battle in the snow. Gave the Birds their toughest battle. They took the Birds down to the wire. But then again, the Birds made their adjustment against the Commanders. The Commanders came in here all gung-ho, and again, the Commanders are a team on the uprise. We all see it. The Commanders will be the Eagles' kryptonite. I'm not scared of anyone else in the NFC. The AFC has nothing to be worried about. Now, like I said, things will probably change this year. Trying to keep guys, letting people go, all that stuff. But with Howie sitting in that front office, from shaking up one roster to another, and still able to be and win a Super Bowl within 10 years, 2 of them, is amazing. To compete in 3 of them is amazing. So I trust Howie. I don't trust the rest of the general managers around here. I don't. I don't believe in Daryl Morley. I don't trust in the direction of the 76ers. I don't even know what the direction is. They keep ride and die with Joel Embiid. And the wheels, the check engine is on that truck. I'm disappointed the Flyers. They don't ever have a direction. They go from general manager to coach to goalies all the time. There's no direction with the Flyers other than they got one kid that looks like he's going to be a stud. And again, within 5 years, if I'm Mitch Kopp, I'm knocking on the door and saying, I want to request a trade. I'm out. I'm out. The Phillies look like they're trending backwards. The Union look like they're trending backwards. The Wings are look like they've hit a wall. So for Eagles fans, enjoy this. Enjoy this run. Yeah, you're right. I'll give you that one too, Dave. The Broncos look like they're on the rise as well. Good call by you. That's a good call. The Steelers look like they're trending down. You hear fans from the outside, they'll tell you Mike Thomas is a great coach. You hear the fans from the inside, they'll tell you he stinks. He hasn't won a playoff game since 2018. The Niners, I don't know what happened to them. The Lions, the big bad Lions got rocked in the playoffs. Even when people were, even when the Lions had the best record, they overlooked the Lions and were looking at the Birds, overlooking them. That's crazy. All the experts were overlooking the Lions with the best record in town. Overshadowing. But like I said, my problem is today. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Today will probably be the last day I talk about the Super Bowl and the amazing run. Because now we have the second half of the 76er season. Looks like they may make the playoffs as a play-in tournament. The Flyers look like they're not going to make the playoffs. They're going to probably wash their hands of it, start all over with cap space. And I'm curious to know what happens from here. But it's going to be, and I feel like the Phillies are going to be trending backwards. And I hope that I'm wrong about the Phillies. I hope they're a contender as well. Not just a playoff contender, not just a postseason contender. I hope they are a World Series contender. Because there's levels. We all know it. There's mediocrity, there's first round playoffs, and there's contenders. The winner teams are down low for me. All three of them. It's crazy because the Wings started red hot. I don't know what's happened to that team. Like I said, that's why I'm going to end this show with appreciate Howie Roseman. Oh, Dave says something here. Baltimore goes out and gets Henry, and yet they still can't go to the NFC Championship. Blows my mind, right? That's what I'm saying. And now look, if you guys want to use the referee X factor, how blah blah blah, how Patrick Mahomes gets the call, yeah. I can look. They're there to do a job. That's it. But yeah, Dave, I'm with you. Ravens and Bills look like they were supposed to give Patrick Mahomes a run for that spot. And you know what? Like I said, I'm glad it was the Eagles beat Patrick Mahomes. I'm glad. That's who I want to face in the Super Bowl. That's who we got. And we beat them. It was a rematch factor. It had big questions in our head whether we're going to get past Patrick Mahomes, whether we're going to get past that. Because we all know Patrick Mahomes can explode on anybody. He's got an arm and all that stuff. But he got rattled. He got frustrated within a quarter of a game. Travis Kelce going on his podcast telling the fan base, I didn't do enough. He was not even in existence really in this game. The corners of this Eagle, and they didn't have to blitz them. That's the best part. Like I said, the looks on everyone from that Kansas City staff, all the major players, the coaching staff, Kelce, Patrick, shell-shocked, befuddled. Eagles own real estate in their minds. And like I said, everyone, please appreciate Howie Roseman. This is why I'm angry. Because in 7 years, I got to see 2 Super Bowls, 2 out of 3 appearances from this Birds team under Howie Roseman in that front office. The rest of the city hasn't done anything. The Flyers have changed general manager, head coach, still issues at the goaltender position, have come up with what looks to be with one franchise guy. The Travis Konecny regime, that kid wants to hold a Stanley Cup, he's going to have to leave here. He'll never have it here. It's the truth. The Joel Embiid X Factor is over. The run's over. Unfortunately, the injury bug has ate my man to the point where he can't stay healthy for a full season. I don't know if he could give you 30 games, to be honest. The Phillies look like they're trending backwards now. They're going to be run with the same team. I don't see, and with Soto going to the Mets, I don't see how the Phillies could be a contender. The Mets will be in their way. The Mets are going to be their roadblock. So enjoy the Super Bowl, but this is it. The hangover is over now. The reality is back. What are we going to talk about? Really, it's going to be. I hope we get some kind of enjoyable conversations coming up here. The 76ers making minor moves. The Flyers making minor moves. Like, I would ask, I mean, it's a shame Howie Roseman can't be in all these franchises' doors. It's amazing. But yeah, huge. And like I said, if you were down there, let me know. Did you enjoy it? I mean, obviously you did. It looks like everyone had a great time. I saw pictures. I watched on the news. Phils have a good start in pitching, but the bullpen is a big question mark. Yeah, listen, Dave, I'm really concerned about the Phillies. Really concerned because Zach Wheeler is going to be another year older. Nola's another year older. We don't know if Ranger Suarez is still going to be the pitcher that he was at the beginning of last year. Christopher Sanchez played okay. He did decent. I will give that. But outside of that, what do you really have? I mean, this team, they brought in Taiwan Walker, and they don't even trust his arm. They don't trust it. They won't even let him sniff the field come postseason time. Did Rojas' bats get any better? This is another year of this team getting older. We're going to run with the same players. I'm curious. Like I said, I think the Mets got better, and I think the Mets are going to be our roadblock. We don't know what the Braves are going to be. I don't know, Dave. A lot of questions. A lot of questions surrounding the city right now. I have a lot. I have a lot for everyone else. Howie has made this city look bad by bringing in 2 Super Bowls. Winning, yes, Howie has made the city look bad, winning 2 out of 3 Super Bowls, while the rest of the franchises around here have done nothing. Done nothing. The Phillies made one World Series run in 22, but it's pedaling backwards. The Philadelphia Flyers don't have a direction. They brought in one kid, looks like he's going to be a franchise piece. But like I said, if Travis Konechny wants to host the Stanley Cup, he's going to have to leave the city because you'll never get it from here. They never did anything to build around him. We've went through a general manager. We went through a head coach. Went AV to John Torella. From Chuck Fletcher to Danny Barrere. And goaltending is still a problem. And the 76ers are going to ride this Joel Embiid train into the ground. And it's just about there. The check engine on that car is on. It can only go 34 miles and it's done. The car breaks down. It's time to move on. Poor Tyrese Maxey. He's doing everything he can. The hopes and dreams of having the big three on the floor at the same time has become a joke. There's no chemistry. They've been playing together for under 10 games. It's a joke. Salary cap will bite. How we eventually give it time. No, but listen. Whether it's salary cap or something, he's always making magic happen. That's the difference, Dave. That's the difference. He's making magic happen. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. And, like I said, I enjoyed it because, listen, I know a lot of people who have been waiting for one Super Bowl. I get to see 2. My oldest now, who's 12 years old, has gotten to see 2 Super Bowls. Like, you're on the right direction. I know people have waited generations to see one Super Bowl. You know what I mean? We've all had that one, people wait decades and decades and decades to get one Super Bowl, but now we have 2. We're kids that are going to have 2. I know that, Dave. But that's what I'm saying. Enjoy the Howard Roseman run because when he's out of here, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I know you want to run out. Of course you do. But your franchise better figure it out. $30 years since the Cowboys been in a championship game. 30. It sucks, right? It sucks when you don't have a good general manager. And listen, I was on the opposite end of that. I grew up on the opposite end of it. You guys were winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl. I didn't. I was a loser growing up as a kid. Watching the Cowboys and Niners win multiple Super Bowls. I could be happy now. I've been a lot happier if I was 8, seeing multiple parades, but that's okay. I had to wait 3 decades to see it. It's okay. Hey, look, knock on wood, I'm still around. But I'm telling you, I know what it's like. I know what it's like. It's I know what it's like to be on the losing end, Dave, and that's where your team's at. Unfortunately for you guys, you can't even trust your quarterback, and you know it. And he's going to come out and say some stupid things like he feels like he could beat the Eagles. Stop. Dak can't even lace Jalen's shoelaces. Stop. Listen, Dave, you got it. My franchise is hurrying for money we can't pay anymore. That's what happens when we throw your money on one person. No I'm kidding. Dave, I've been there, buddy. I know. You know, you remember a guy named Rich Kotite, a horrible head coach? You remember that loser? I remember him quite well. I've been there. I've been on the losing stick. It sucks. But, again, I want to, before I close out the show, I do want to thank you, Dave, for checking in with me, buddy. I definitely appreciate you hanging with me for the entire hour. I definitely appreciate it. Next week. Oh, oh, here we go. Duck is 9-4 against the Pigeons. So what? And how many rocks has he won? What has he done in Jerry's world? Woohoo! What has Dak done in Jerry's world? Has he gotten an MVP? A Super Bowl MVP? Has he been in 3 Super Bowls? Has he won 2 of them? No. That's the tender from Howie being in that front office till now. From the last Super Bowl win of the Eagles till now. What has Dak done for you guys? Exactly. Crickets. He hasn't done anything. You know it. I know it. Again, what's Howie's done? He has to get you guys to change head coaches. You're like, the Cowboys are like one step above the Giants right now. Did he win the Super MVP? No. So, I mean, if you ain't first, you're last. Runner up. What does that mean? Means nothing. Carson Wentz, runner up for, okay, now it doesn't mean nothing. He didn't get it. He got hurt. But I'm just saying, Dave, shakeups are good things. The old man wants to run your franchise into the ground. It's like the Flyers. I witnessed it. 15 years is the last time the Flyers seen a Stanley Cup run. 15. You don't think that bothers me every day? I had to sit here and watch the team from across the state win multiple Stanley Cups. Because you know why? They know how to build around Stanley Crosby. This team here, Howie, just knows how to build and tear things down and rebuild things. That's what he does. I'm just saying, I love Howie. Howie's done a great job. The rest of the franchise and GMs in the city have not. Yes, I will give you that. Dak did not play. The injury bug hit him. And listen, I kind of put him on that same plateau as Joel Embiid, Dave. Him and Joel Embiid. They make it to the second round of playoffs. Now the injury bugs are taking effect on them. On both guys. Both guys are franchise pieces. It's time to move on. You got to look yourself in the mirror, Dave, and tell it's time to move on from Dak. I have to look in the mirror, and it kills me because I know how much talent Joel Embiid has, but it's got to move on for him. It's time. The Boston Celtics, I just gave you the stat. They've won They've been to 2 NBA finals, then won one. They've been to 6 Eastern Conference games and they don't have a Joel Embiid on their team. They just know how to build. Dynasties know how to do the right things. Dynasty GMs know how to do the right things. Howie's one of them. The Celtics are one of them. Danny Ainge, one of them. There's multiple GMs that just know how to build winning cultures. Howie's the only one in the city that knows how to do it. Paul Day, the Wings GM, trying to do something. Looks like they've hit a wall. The Union don't know what they're doing. I hope this coaching change has done to them quite good. The Flyers. Dane Breer, I hope he changes it, but I'm only give him like a 2-year window, and that's it. That's it. I've seen enough. The Phillies better get back on track. A lot of pressure now on the Phils. But they're wrong with the same team. I can't get that excited with the same team. But anyway, look, I've gone past my limits. David, again, thank you so much for chiming in. I love going back and forth with you. I love talking with you. You're my guy. Thank you so much. For everyone who's checked in, whether you're on Facebook, from YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, I definitely appreciate it. Guys, have a great one. I have to get going. Stay tuned because All Across All Time will be coming on at 8 o'clock tonight. I will be talking about the Philadelphia Wings hitting a wall. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the restaurant. Oh, and by the way, the meal of the day, I'm going to go pasta. Sorry, I had to add that in there. See you guys. Bye.